Welcome to this quick PM Flow daily decompression for the spine. This video will include lengthening, mobility, and strengthening of the spine with a little bit of love for the hips as well. No props are needed for this, but if you like to use props, go ahead and grab them and we'll get started. Let's start this practice in child's pose. Moving towards the back of your mat, find your way into your favorite variation of child's pose. Mine is open knee. Whichever one works for you, go ahead and melt yourself forward and let the arms extend. If it's uncomfortable to extend the arm, by all means, stack the hands so that the head is supported. We'll stay here for a few breaths. While you're here in child's pose, allow yourself to melt into the mat. Allow the body to release and relax with each exhale that you take. Staying in your child's pose, walk your hands over now towards the upper left corner of your mat. We're looking for a nice stretch through the right side of the body. Do your best to keep your shoulders parallel to the mat here, and then gently relax and let the head melt down. This is a very subtle stretch through the spine and the side body. One more nice big breath here. And gently lift the head, walk the hands through center and over to the upper right corner of your mat. Doing your best to keep the shoulders parallel and then relax it down. On your next inhale, bring yourself back through center. We'll rest here in the center for a few breaths. On your next inhale, gently lift the head, bring yourself up onto your elbows, and bring your knees to a parallel position if they were wide. You can even tuck your toes here for a little bit more stabilization as we move into Happy Puppy. And when Happy Puppy, you want to make sure that the hips stay over the knees as best as you can. Walk the arms forward and melt into those shoulders. Now this provides a little bit of compression through the spine, but also a nice lengthening for it. We'll stay here for about 5 breaths. On your next inhale, gently lift the head. This might not go smoothly, and if it doesn't, it's okay. You're going to work your way forward nice and slowly into your Sphinx pose, letting the hips come forward. Once the hips are down, readjust the arms as you need. We're still maintaining an arch in the spine. Allow the chest to stay nice and open here. If you need to open the legs a little bit, if it's too much compression on the low back, then go ahead and do that. Okay, so from here, we're going to take a little bit of a strange flow. It's not going to look pretty, but it should feel pretty nice. Walk those elbows back an inch or two. Bring the knees back underneath the hips. As you exhale, you're going to move the chin to the chest. Now, as you do so, the hips are going to start to lift up. That's okay, let that happen. And shift back towards your happy puppy. So the hands stay put and the knees stay put. From here, tuck the tail, roll through the spine. Hips come down, elbows come down. Now you're in Sphinx. Let those feet extend. On your exhale, tuck the chin, let the hips come up, scoop the belly, shift back towards your puppy. Then tuck the tail, roll it through the spine, coming back into Sphinx. Let the feet extend. Chin to the chest, roll through, shift back into puppy. Tuck the pelvis, roll through the spine, and come forward into Sphinx. Strange, no? But feels okay? Tucking the head, shifting back. This is our last round. And then bring it forward, finding Sphinx. From Sphinx, elbows open, stack the hands, crocodile pose. Give the hips a little bit of a rock here from side to side. And then bend the knees, let the feet float in the air and windshield wiper from side to side. All right, from here, let the legs extend long underneath you. You can tuck the toes if you need a little bit more anchoring as we move into tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, scoop that belly and press yourself up into tabletop. Keep that lower belly engaged and we'll move into opposite arm leg balance. Now this is where the strengthening comes in. Right leg will extend back and then lift it up about an inch or two, or what feels like an inch for you. Make sure that the lower belly is pulling up and in, and then extend the left arm forward. Once the arm is forward, make a fist here. And we're going to breathe just for a few breaths. Good. Now, if this is challenging for you, feel free to stay here. If you'd like to intensify this, take a nice inhale, let the fingertips extend, and then exhale, curl the spine, elbow and knee come together underneath you. Inhale, extend, nice long spine. Then exhale, curve. Knee and elbow come together. One more time, inhaling, extending. And exhale and curve. Inhale, extend. As you exhale, left hand will come down to the mat. Now, a little bit for the hips here. We're going to take this right leg and tap it across so that it touches the outside of your mat. Then bring it through center and tap it to the other side. So you're going from side to side. Tap, 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 tap. This helps to energize the hips and the stabilizers in the hips, as well as work the upper hamstrings and the glutes. Just a few more times. Doesn't matter what speed you go, just as long as you're feeling some energy in those hips. Take one more on each side, then come back through center, extend the leg up and back, and then exhale, step it through, finding your low lunge. I'm going to ease into that low lunge and stay here for a few breaths. On your next inhale, walk your hands up to the thigh. Exhale, release the shoulders down. Then inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, let's bring the left hand down to the mat, right hand to the thigh, and give a little twist here. Looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to squared shoulders. Exhale, scoop the belly and twist again. Let's go one more time. Inhale to squared shoulders, and then exhale, gently twist. Good. On your inhale, come back to neutral, two hands down onto the mat. Exhale, press it back, find your tabletop. And let's take a few cows and cats here. Inhaling, lifting the head and tail. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lifting the head and tail. Exhale, curl. One more time. Nice, and then come back to your nice neutral spine. Left leg will extend back, then lift it up a couple inches. Lower belly's pulling up and in, and the opposite arm extends out. So left leg back, right arm forward, and make a fist. Stay here for a couple breaths. Release those fingers. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee together underneath you, curling the spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, scoop the belly, pull it together. Inhale, extend, arm and leg. Exhale, elbow and knee come together underneath you. Inhale, extend, keep the leg there. Exhale, the hand down to the mat under your shoulder. And we take the same taps with that floating foot, cross it to the opposite side, and then switch side to side. Tap, tap. We'll take this a few times, energizing the hips, the hamstring, and the glute a little bit. These help to support our spine and our whole body. So to keep them a little bit on the stronger side is a benefit to everything else above it. Good, let's take this just a few more times. And last set, each side. Come back to center, let the leg float up there. And then as you exhale, step it through, finding your low lunge. Settling in. Feel free to be relaxed here to start off with, just to ease into those hips. On your next inhale, walk your hands up to the thigh. Exhale, release the shoulders, finding more length here now. And then sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat, right to the thigh, gentle twist. Inhale, bring the shoulders to a nice squared position. And then exhale, twist. Scooping that belly up and in. Inhale, squaring off the shoulders. And exhale, twist. Let's stay for another breath or two. On your inhale, come back through center. Exhale, two hands down to the mat. Shift it back, finding your tabletop. Then find your plank. And let's take a vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press it back to your downward facing dog. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. Allow the backs of the legs to open up and lengthen here. Keeping the belly engaged for a nice long spine. Head dangles between the arms. Press down through those fingertips, especially if your wrists aren't as happy in down dog. We're not going to stay here for very long. Just one more full breath here. Now we take that same flow as we did in Sphinx to puppy pose. As you inhale, tuck the pelvis, come up onto the balls of your feet, and then exhale, come into your plank. Then tuck the head, let the hips lift up and shift back. This is a little bit different than maybe you've experienced before. Tucking the pelvis and coming forward. Tucking the head and shifting back. Very often when we do this flow, it's the pelvis that leads everything. This time, we're using the crown of the head first to move back to down dog. Last round. Good. From here, just lift the head to look at the fingers. Walk the feet forward. Lift up to Ardha Uttanasana. And we're going to take Uttanasana. We're going to dangle here for a few breaths. So if you have low back problems, go ahead and bend the knees. You'll still get a nice stretch to the hamstrings. Let the arms flop forward. Palms can turn up. And you can let the eyes close here if you'd like, as long as your balance is good. And we're just going to stay here and enjoy the natural lengthening through the spine. 2 more nice big breaths. If the eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Slowly and mindfully, we'll start to roll up through the spine. So start by bending the knees a little bit more deeply. Then engage the belly, start to tuck the pelvis, and slowly roll up to about halfway. You can bring your hands to your thighs here, and just take a breath. Then continue to roll up through the spine, inhaling as you come up. Bring the shoulders all the way up to the ears, and then exhale, release them down. Let's take one more shoulder roll. Good. From here, inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. You can hold on to your hands, your fists, whatever. Give a nice big stretch here. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Maybe there's an arch in there too. And then exhale, gently release it down. You can give a little bit of a bounce here in the legs. Okay. And coming to stillness, hands come onto the waist. Let's take warrior 2. Left foot steps back. Open those hips up to face the side edge of your mat and ease into your warrior 2. Good. So we're focusing on the spine here. So we're going to do one of my favorites, reverse warrior into triangle trikonasana. So on your inhale, flip the right palm. Exhale, reach it up and back. Inhale through your transition, straightening the front leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, coming up. Keep the palm flipped. Bend the knee. Exhale, reach it up and back. Inhale as you transition into triangle. Exhale as you side bend. Inhaling, coming up through your transition. Bend that knee. Exhale, reverse warrior. Let's go one more time. From this last reverse warrior, inhale through your transition. You can soften the knee here. Bring your hands down to the inside of the front foot. We're not going to lunge. We're going to walk the hands now to the center of the mat. Rotate the feet and the legs so that you're in a nice prasarita. If you need to open the legs a little bit more, go ahead, turn the toes inward, and shift your weight so that you're standing on the middle of the foot. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, let the crown of the head melt towards the mat. Feel free to bend your knees here if this is too intense on the low back. And be mindful, we're not going to go into any headstanding poses. So if your head is touching the mat, heel toe your feet in a little bit more. We're not actually looking for the head to connect. Keep your eyes open this time and enjoy the upside down perspective. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, come to fingertips, lift the spine about halfway up. Exhale where you need to. We're going to move to warrior 2 on the second side. So outwardly rotate the left leg. Keep that right one turned in. Press down through the legs. Inhale as you rise up to warrior 2. Settle in, find your placement for your warrior 2. And then we flow. Inhale, palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale as you transition. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale as you lift up, bend the knee, turn the palm. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, transition. Exhale, triangle pose. And one last time through, inhaling as you come up for the transition. Exhaling as you reach up and back. Inhale through the transition, exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, lifting about halfway up. Exhale, bend that front knee, bring the hands down. We're going to walk into prasarita again. We'll do some variations here though this time. So find your proper distance of your feet. Lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, fold. This time, let's take the left fingertips forward. So you have space there. Take the right arm, thread it underneath, and reach for the shin, the ankle, or the foot. So you get a nice twist here. Be careful that you're not shifting your hips. Keep your hips as parallel as possible. This allows for the spine to have the mobility here. Good. On your inhale, bring both hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale, bend the knees for a moment, just for a little release. And then let them straighten again. This time the right fingertips come forward in front of your shoulder. Left will thread underneath. Hold on to the shin, ankle, or foot, and enjoy the twist. Keeping those hips as parallel to the ground as possible. One more breath here. Good. On your inhale, bring it back through neutral. Hands under the shoulders. Exhale, bend those knees, and let's walk the hands over towards the right foot. Coming into high lunge just temporarily. Gently shift back to plank and vinyasa. Shifting back into your child's pose for a few breaths. Whichever variation of child's pose you know and love. Great, so from here, let's find our way to a seated position. You can get there any way you like to. And let's bring our legs to a nice straddle position. So whatever works for you in this moment, so don't worry about how wide they are. Also know that you can prop underneath your hips, especially if you feel like you're falling back in your pelvis and that your spine is collapsing. We want as much length as possible. Yes, so make sure that you are really sitting on those sit bones. Also look out for pressing the pelvis forward. We want to be right on them, right? Not the extremes on either side. And taking a nice side bend from here. As you exhale, leaning over to the left, using the left hand to support you, either by or on the shin bone or in front of the pelvis, wherever it's the most comfortable for you. Right arm can press down on the thigh to make sure that the sit bones stay connected to your mat, or for more intensity, the right arm can sweep up and over the ear. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. On your next inhale, very slowly and mindfully start to bring yourself up to vertical. Once you're in vertical, just allow the back to settle down in its own time. Sometimes the lower back has something to say about this one. So listen to it, let it calm down before you move on to the second side. All right, moving on to the other side, inhaling nice and tall, and then exhale, leaning over to your right, using that right arm to support you. Left hand can come to the left thigh or sweep it up and over the ear. And then again, we'll stay for a couple breaths. Take one more nice big breath here. And on your inhale, very slowly and mindfully, bring yourself back up to vertical. Exhaling where you need to. Let's use those hands on the legs. We're going to move to a reclined position. Making sure that you have enough space behind you on your mat so that your head is still on the mat. Rolling down. Feet flat. And just take a few breaths here. And then let the legs extend long underneath you, finding Shavasana. Let that be about the width of your mat apart and let them fall to their natural rotation. If you're a little bit chilly, you can always place a blanket over yourself. And if it's too bright, feel free to bring something over your eyes. And when you're ready, take rest. Gradually start to deepen your breath. Find energy in the fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, hands, and feet. Extend the arms up overhead. Bring the legs long underneath you for a nice big stretch through the body. And gently hug the knees in towards the chest. Give a little rock from side to side. From here, roll on to your right side, finding fetal position, using the bottom arm as a pillow for your head. Gently press yourself up to a seated position. Eyes remain closed. And either bring your hands to prayer in front of the heart, or one hand on the heart and one on the belly. Take a few moments here to check in after this practice. Hopefully the spine feels a little bit longer. Maybe you feel a little bit taller and definitely more decompressed. Take a few moments now for some gratitude, something that you're thankful for in this moment, and a few reasons why. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me. If you liked the class, please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And be sure to click the bell for email notifications when new videos are released. Let me know how you felt after doing this practice in the comments below. Please share this video if you know someone who might enjoy it. And please consider a donation to help support the production of more fabulous yoga videos for you. Have a beautiful day. Namaste, my friends. Be well and remember to breathe. See you next time.